Worcester Wolves in good form at the moment, having won their last 3 BBL championship games to take them to a 4-4 record, and a lot of that has been down to the fact that they finally brought in their American imports, all 4 of them, and they've all played in the last 3 games, which has no doubt boosted their roster and their results. The Eagles, of course, on a 6-match winning run at the moment in all competitions. Includes 4 in the league, and obviously the cup final, which they won, and also Tuesday night's dramatic 1-point win down at Bristol in the trophy. Alongside me as ever, my co-commentator Dave Elligan. And Dave, your early thoughts, please.
Well, as you said, Jeff, visitors much changed tonight. 5 guys tonight, the 4 Americans, plus Josh Schwigan, who was out injured the last time. What's happened since these guys? Well, they've gone from 1-4, I think, to right bang in the middle of the table. Top 8 position, sharing 4 wins with the Sharks and Phoenix. We're in the good position of having games in hand over the Phoenix. And as you said, it's 3 straight with these guys. I mean, the guy who's missing tonight, not just any ordinary guy, it's Matthew Brian Manning, who's now become a Cheshire Phoenix. But you're looking at 22 points and 12 rebounds from that previous game. And let's not worry so much about the 2 guys. There was 2 guys who were in that game back before Christmas who impressed both of us, and that's the Belgium, is he? Martin Baunek. Dutch, yeah. Sorry, yeah. We thought had a terrific game, probably played about 39 minutes, and to me, guy who's been doing great for them. In fact, outside of playing the Eagles, I watched him in a Sky game where he got the MVP, and that's Jordan Williams. So to me, out of all that for the visitors, the unknown factor is Josh Schwigan.
Yeah, and obviously the 4 Americans are just settling into the league at the moment. Not exactly putting up massive numbers at the moment, but it's early days for them. Although the one guy that I'm really interested in seeing is Brandon Anderson, who is averaging over 12 points a game and shoots 44% from the 3-point line. So he looks as if he's going to be a pretty solid sort of player. And he had 4 years in the Ivy League at Brown University. So he should be a fairly intelligent guy as well.
Yeah. You know, the other thing we praised when they were here in that loss before Christmas was the teamwork. They played really well as a team, and they're going to need that plus some big individual efforts tonight to take on an Eagles team who are showing they just simply know how to get the job done. They got out of jail against the Raiders. They got out of jail against the Flyers. They came back in that cup final when it looked like London had taken the ascendancy in the 3rd quarter. And we talked last week about them having 3 MVPs. Well, they've also got a back-to-back Coach of the Month as well, who you got to give a lot of credit to for this thing. But to me, the big issue tonight, you've mentioned not big numbers from their players. I honestly don't know what that means for the front court. But the fact that Baunek was so good last time, and he's now joined by what looks like 2 pretty competent American guards, I think the backcourt tonight is going to be fascinating, because the Eagles' backcourt, as you know, at the moment, is pretty much second to none.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. And I think it's interesting as well when I looked at that Bristol game on Tuesday night. Just a little funny story. My wife came in and said, "What's the score?" And I said, "Well, 1 point down with 6 seconds to go." And she says, "Oh, I'm just going upstairs, I'll not be long." And she came downstairs 2 minutes later and she says, "Did they win?" And I says, "We're still playing." Because I think it was 3 or 4 timeouts called, almost one after the other. It just shows you how incredible basketball could be.
You know, one of the prizes in basketball is the 6th Man of the Year award, but I'll tell you what, all coaches will tell you, it's the 6th and 7th man who are often the key. You like 2 impact players, well, you'd like loads of impact players, but it's great to have 2 impact players off the bench. And what's interesting is the minutes that Defoe and Sayers are picking up the minutes, probably playing a little bit more than the starters. But one other factor tonight as well is Eagles have had some tough games lately. These guys haven't played since the 17th of January.
Yeah, and they've been affected by COVID. I'm not just sure that it was a massive COVID hit within the club, but obviously there was a COVID protocols had to be followed, which did get the games called off. So just have a look at the starting 5. For the visitors, we have number 0, Lamar Kimball. Number 1, Mike Parks Jr. Number 2, Martin Boutneck, who's the captain. Number 6, Jordan Williams. And number 8, KJ Lawson. And for the Eagles, well, not much of a surprise here. We have Cortez Edwards and Ramon Fletcher in the backcourt. That's number 6 Edwards, 44 Fletcher, with number 0 Rex Fluger, number 24 Justin Gordon, and number 2 Evan Maxwell. Pretty much the Eagles standard starting 5.
When I saw Fluger jump up with that fall last night, you see his left knee's heavily strapped. I was surprised to see he'd played, it was only 30 minutes. I was surprised to see he'd played at all last Tuesday, but it's good to see that he's made a good recovery.
Players take the knee before we start, and it's just an opportunity for Dave and myself to add our thoughts to those across the basketball world, to the abuse and racism that the Scottish Rocks players, Glasgow Rocks players faced. We send our best wishes to them, and the taking of the knees obviously being a bit more poignant tonight. And we're off and up and running, and it's Evan Maxwell who wins the tip. And Rex Fluger picks up the loose ball and gives it to Edwards. He's on the first offense. Maxwell comes out. Fletcher turns the corner. He's going to go straight up to the basket. There's a floater which hits the front of the rim and then drops in for 2. So Ramon Fletcher off and running 2 points, and the Eagles off and running 2 points as well.
Good team effort to open the night. You always like that as a coach.
Yes, Kimball looks like he may be the man who handling the holding the ball, and he is Jordan Williams. Back out to Kimball. Kimball goes for the 3. It's in and out, and Evan Maxwell's able to take an easy rebound.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting matchup tonight. I noticed that they've chosen Justin Gordon to mark Jordan Williams. Williams really did have a good game here before Christmas when he came. I was really impressed with him.
I think he's a player who's got better every year. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And, he mustn't be far away, I wouldn't have thought, from JB thoughts. But Eagles up to 4-0 with Ramon Fletcher's first assist of the night. And laid it up for Evan Maxwell to flash home. And there's his second assist, and this time it's Cortez Edwards making a great cut to the basket. And he lays that in for 2, and the Eagles up 6-0.
Yeah, 2 great assists. First one to Maxwell, second one to Edwards. But you've got to praise the players off the ball, work off the ball, that made those assists work.
Here's Kimball again. Gets it into Lawson. Lawson against Fluger. Nice spin by Lawson, but he can't make the basket. And once again, an easy rebound for the Eagles. He gets early stages for Worcester, but here's Fletcher for 2, and that one goes in as well. And that's an 8-0 start. Ramon Fletcher 2 assists and 2 baskets. Come to play tonight. Here's Boutneck to reply for Worcester, looking for their first basket of the game. Into Williams, who backs down Maxwell. And that's going to be a foul by Maxwell.
Well, we've mentioned a lot of Maxwell's strengths, and we've mentioned our concerns in terms of defence. But in all honesty, I didn't think that was a call at all. That was a total no call.
Well, it just seemed as if Williams was backing him down and he was just standing his ground, but that's obviously not how the referee saw it. Here's Mike Parks, back to Kimball. Kimball turns the corner, goes driving in. Bit of a Hail Mary sort of layup, really, and Maxwell takes another rebound.
Terrific rebound. Wasn't the easiest to take, and he got into the traffic and absolutely made it his.
Oh, Eagles.
Now, does that go down as an assist?
Well,
I would give it, but I mean, there was obviously a big individual spin move from Justin, because that would be a really impressive start from Fletcher. 3 assists in the first minute.
It was a very impressive finish by Gordon as well. He did put the ball on the floor as well, so it may not have got us an assist. And there's Worcester's first points after Eagles' 10-0 start, and it's Jordan Williams who gets inside with the left-handed hook shot. Edwards, though, finds it straight up to Maxwell. Maxwell misses the layup. Wide open he was as well.
That was probably the easiest of the night, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, probably. And Fluger couldn't quite get the rebound, and that's going to be a foul by Rex Fluger at the other end as Lawson attacked the basket.
Again, I hope Maxwell's...
Actually, the foul's been called on Evan Maxwell.
Oh, I was
so
just
so
about
be
to
him
say...
taking a seat, yeah.
Yeah.
Darius Defoe coming on.
I was just thinking that Maxwell should be really, really pleased with the way he started playing without the ball.
So 2 fouls in the game, both on Evan Maxwell. Bonkneck to inbound, gives it to Parks.
Great defense from Fluger.
Parks gives it to Williams. And there's excellent defense by Justin Gordon. The hand behind knocks the ball away. Fluger takes it up. Defoe tries to get in. And it's Gordon who cleans up on the offensive boards and lays it in for 2.
Thing I like about this Eagles team, Jeff, is that, you know, there's Maxwell up there, 6'11" or 7 foot, whatever he is, and everybody else is 6'6", 6'7". But those guys, Fluger, Defoe, Sayers, and Gordon can all mark bigger guys.
There's Parks for 3 from the outside the arc and doesn't go, and Cortez Edwards picks up the rebound.
Yeah.
Edwards driving hard at the basket, floats it up, but it doesn't go in. Parks takes the rebound, gives it to Kimball. Kimball goes for 3, and that one misses, and Edwards again up for the rebound in front of Bonkneck. Fletcher's going to attack Kimball, and that's going to be a foul by Kimball.
I think even Fletcher was surprised at that call.
Yeah, well,
I mean, Fletcher literally ran Kimball down.
Here's Brandon Lawson's first minutes of the game. Guard from Brown. He replaces Kimball. Nice inbound pass from Ramon Fletcher to Gordon. Fletcher goes for 3. That's going to be short. And this time it's an uncontested defensive rebound for Parks, who gathers it in and gives it to Anderson. It's Williams. He lobs it into Parks. Nice spin move by Parks. Lays it up, can't make it. Gets his own rebound though. And then it's knocked clear by Edwards. And that's end-line ball for Worcester. Shorey Adenican comes in for Justin Gordon.
Well, in your notes to me, you have Parks down as a power forward, and he just looks that, doesn't he? He really was banging away, trying to get the second and third attempts in that last offense.
Yeah, it looks a big unit, isn't it? I mean, it's not just about height, it's width as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
He certainly looks.
But as you said before, none of these forwards have big numbers. The forward with the big number is Jordan Williams.
Yeah. Nearly 15 points a game for Jordan Williams. Yes, Parks. Anderson tries to lob it over to Lawson. Lawson turns, spins, fade away. It's no good. Good rebound though by Jordan Williams, and he does put it in. It's going to be counted as a basket.
I mean, sometimes you think of Jordan Williams as a young British guy, but actually he's quite travelled, isn't he? He's played quite a bit overseas.
Well, he actually started his career in Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before he even played in this country.
Yeah. Great signing for this team, sure.
Goes to the line to shoot the extra 1. Not surprising that he misses. He's only a 54% free throw shooter, but he certainly gets a lot of chances from the free throw line with his aggressive play inside. Here's Defoe, who picked up that foul. Fletcher gives it to Defoe. He's guarded by Williams. That's not really a surprise, and that's going to be a foul. Interesting as well, early observation that I think virtually every foul has been called by the same referee at the moment. But that was a foul, and Darius Defoe will go to the line to shoot 2. Foul was on Williams, so Defoe gets his revenge for the foul called on him at one end. 5:01 to go. Eagles lead 12-4.
Well, I might have had a couple of the previous fouls down as no calls, but that was a flat-out correct call.
Darius Defoe, solid from the line. Makes them both 14-4 Eagles lead.
You bring Defoe in to replace Maxwell, and it's not like for like at all, is it? You got two completely different players, both got great strengths in their own way for the Eagles.
It's obviously the point you made to me before the game about Defoe's defensive work. There's some great defensive work by Adenican as he blocks Boutneck's shot. Fletcher almost got another assist as Cortez Edwards drove into the basket, but Edwards just lost the handle slightly. Fletcher now driving in, back out to Defoe at the elbow. That's his shot. Almost automatic from the elbow is Darius Defoe. 4 points from off the bench already.
Yeah, great start for the Eagles. 12-point lead early on. What's interesting is that Adeniki's come in so early, because normally at this stage you'd be expecting Sayers to come in.
That's going to be a foul by Adeniki as Anderson drove to the basket. I think it's probably something to do with the size.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. Seems to be for me, but this Cortez Edwards takes a break and Drew Lasker comes on in the first quarter. KJ Lawson comes out and Josh McSwiggan comes in.
Yeah, I think this is an important night for Drew, because looking at the stats from the other night, he only had, I think it was 3 minutes court time.
Didn't play much last Friday either.
Yeah, I think Drew will be wanting to make a mark tonight, and he's well capable, as we all know, of doing it.
Meanwhile, it's Anderson at the line, and that one rolled around, had a good think about it, and then thought, yeah, I'll drop through the net. So Anderson's first point of the night. Anderson scores again. Eagles already in the penalty with 4 minutes left to go in the quarter. Yes, Fletcher brings the ball over the halfway line, gives it to Lasker, gives him it straight back. Sayers, who's come on, he's going to attack the basket. Nice left-handed floater from Louis Sayers as he attacked the basket. Sorry, Louis Sayers, I must get that right.
I should do a research here, Jeff, from a coaching point of view, to put a name to that player they're developing, but it's really coming on and paying off dividends for them. And it's good that they've got a half-court set that's developing in the way that is, to complement what they're already very good at, which is in transition.
Second foul on Darius Defoe. Justin Gordon comes back in. Darius Defoe goes off. So both Maxwell and Defoe on 2 fouls, and we've still got 3:50 to go in the first quarter.
And we've still got 3 guys on in Gordon, Adeniki and Sayers, who are capable of managing their big forwards.
This time Jordan Williams makes the 2. Sorry, the extra point. Fletcher. Adeniki comes to set the screen. What a great pass from Fletcher. What a great cut from Justin Gordon. And 2 more points for the Eagles.
Yeah, great screen as well for the Pie, who got Justin Gordon open. Bit of old-fashioned flex there. Well, old-fashioned, you know, flex has been around for years, and it's still going in so many different varieties these days.
There's Williams. Floor and Lawson to cut, Anderson to cut to the basket. He did. He has bout neck, and that's a. Drew Lasker saw that all day long, and a fantastic block. And there's a behind-the-back pass by Louis Sayers and Shorey Adeniki on the break. And the Eagles' second unit there came up with 2 fantastic plays in a row. First of all, Drew Lasker, who knew exactly what Boutneck was going to do, and came up with a massive block. And then on the break, Sayers' behind-the-back pass to Adeniki, who finished it fantastically well.
I thought it was a great finish by Adeniki. It was great trail position. And what a really lovely soft touch around the rim.
Forces Worcester into a timeout with the score 22-9. Matt Newby with a lot to talk about.
Well, there's a lot he has to talk about, but there's one thing he can't do, is missing part of the equation that made him do such a good job before. They are missing badly, Matthew, Brian and Manning. None of these guys at the moment they've got in are coming anywhere near replacing what he did that night. I think that was one of his best ever performances. I've seen him back in December.
I think as well, when you look at that performance by NBA as well, you know, and he stayed in this country. He's now gone to Cheshire, and he makes Cheshire's starting 5 look really quite strong. You know, the 2 American guards, Ross and McCall, and then you've got Jalen Hayes, NBA, and you know, Jimbo Lull as well. You know, I mean, that's a pretty ferocious front court with Jimbo Lull and NBA.
Yeah, but I think there's another factor here that's nothing to do with X's and O's. I think there's a mental issue here going on tonight, in that the Eagles have had tight games lately, maybe not played as well as they could. They've probably been reading about Worcester's new arrivals. They've been reading about Worcester's 3-0. They've got themselves mentally prepared for this game tonight.
Certainly looks like it at the moment, but remember that game on Tuesday night at Bristol. Bristol certainly had themselves ready in the first quarter and were up by 19 at one point and ended up 17 points ahead after the first quarter. So we know basketball is a 40-minute game and it's a long time to go. And there's Mike Parks making his first basket of the night as he lays it in, but the gap is still 11 points. Eagles 22, Worcester 11.
From Worcester's point of view, that's a good basket there. They get the forwards in on the scoring act.
That was a great pass from Justin Gordon and a good cut from Fletcher, but he couldn't get it in amongst all the trees. There's Adenike comes from behind against Parks. Parks tries to bring the ball in. Jump ball called by the referee.
Well, I'm hearing all sorts of shouts. You probably picked them up as well, but that was an excellent call by the referee. Absolutely flat out, that was a jump ball. I wouldn't like to have seen any foul called on either of those two players.
Both competing for the ball.
Absolutely.
Arrow in play, and it's an arrow for Worcester. Out next to Williams. Very active Jordan Williams, has to do a lot of work. That's going to be a foul by Ramon Fletcher.
There's clearly an ethos here of teamwork being drilled into these Worcester players, but there are times when an individual, Jeff, needs to recognise what's happening. I think Jordan Williams then had to recognise that Darius Defoe, Justin Gordon was just laying off him, inviting him to shoot.
Anderson goes to the line to shoot two after the foul by Fletcher. Makes the first.
I don't think Bownek's been as effective tonight as he was in the earlier game this season.
Well, again, it looked as if, first of all, they were putting the ball in the hands of Kimball, and then Anderson's come on to replace Kimball, and he seems to be getting quite a bit of the ball. So whereas Boutneck was very much the point guard in the game back in December. Anyway, it makes both from the line. It's 22-13, the Eagles lead. Adenike. And that's a great bit of play inside from Shorey Adenike as he makes 2 points.
Sometimes you get a feel, Jeff, for how a player's playing when you look at a new player like that. My eyes went straight to the bench, and every one of the bench was on the feet applauding that Adenike move.
Here's Boutneck driving in, back out to Anderson for three. That looked in all the way, and it goes in. And
great kick out as well.
Celebrates with a little fist pump. Here's Lasker driving it, Anderson at the other end. Gordon. Don't know if he meant to get that ball to Cortez Edwards, but it did go to Cortez Edwards.
Well, it turned out to be a great pass, didn't it? It was a mistake, but it turned into a great pass.
Jordan Williams looks to Anderson. Anderson in to Parks. Parks does well there, under pressure from Adenike. And Jordan Williams knocks down the two. Worcester's just showing a little bit signs of...
They're going to give him space like that. I think he's got to keep shooting those shots.
24-18 with 1:10 to go in the quarter.
It's getting them back in the game, that's for sure.
Cortez Edwards setting things up for the Eagles with Sayers. Gordon, that's going to be a foul on Max Swiggin. Mick Arolan comes on for Martin Boutneck. Alan had been pretty much starting every game before the four Americans arrived. There's Gordon, faces up to Parks, thinks about the shot, doesn't go to take it. That's a little... Wow, Justin Gordon.
I think he'll do good in that matchup. I think he should be encouraged to take that matchup on.
Showed real athleticism there. And made the shot. Here's Anderson going to the basket. Adenike, good stand. Edwards, he just threw that straight to Josh Swiggin, who gives it to Anderson, who lays it in for two. Not quite sure what went through Cortez Edwards' mind there. It was,
he can lapse into these careless cross-court pass mistakes, but let's not take away all the good stuff he does.
So Worcester got back within 6. As time ticks down into the last 10 seconds of the quarter. Edwards tries to get through, finds Lasker in the corner for three, and Lasker for three knocks it down right on the buzzer. Drew Lasker answering your call, Dave.
Yeah, I think that I really, you start with Fletch, you start with Cortez Edwards. To me, the trio with those is Drew Lasker. His energy, he's got, and there he's really smart. He saw Edwards faking that drive, and he just drifted to the corner.
So we're just looking at the point scores here. I'm not sure the stats are quite right because they've only got Adenican down for 2 points, and we've got him down for 4, but never mind. Justin
Definitely
Gordon.
on 4.
Yeah, Justin Gordon, 10 points in the first quarter, 5 of 5 shooting. Ramon Fletcher, 4 points, but he's already got 6 assists. And for Worcester, Jordan Williams with 9 points. Mike Parks has got 5 rebounds. And Anderson from the bench, Brandon Anderson, he's also got 9 points. So the Eagles take the first quarter 29-20. Worcester did well to come back, and then Drew Lasker threw that dagger right on the buzzer, dagger 3, and the Eagles will take a 9-point lead into the second quarter.
Yeah, some nice teamwork going on in this first quarter. We knew Worcester would come and try and run the teamwork stuff, but from a Worcester point of view, sometimes Jordan Williams is creating good looks for himself. He needs to be getting the green light to take those. And then the other way around, I think Justin Gordon, I think he'll do really well in that matchup against Parks.
So back out for the second quarter, and the Eagles send out Pfluger, Gordon, Adenican, Edwards and Lasker against Max Swiggin, Williams, Lawson, Ilan and Baukneck.
Yeah, I said Max Wigan was the unknown because I'd never seen him play before, but I'm impressed with the way he's tackling the challenge of playing Pfluger or Justin Gordon defensively. Look at him there, he chased him down really well.
Adenican drives at the basket, can't quite make it. Back out to Lasker, who tries to use the screen. Edwards steps back 3 and drops it in. No, he's given us 2 right on the line.
Yeah, he didn't quite. It was a good step back move. I mean, he created that space, give himself a champion. He doesn't need a lot of space, does he, to get his shot off, because he's got such good elevation before he releases his shot.
So Williams playing the point forward there. Baukneck going into a, and that's he went into a trap there between Adenican.
Surely that's 2 points. Yeah.
Yeah. The layup didn't go in, but Josh McSwiggan, was it Mikael Lane, slapped the backboard quite hard, and it looked as if the play was going to go on, but referee McDonald stepped in and called the 2 points for Lasker.
If you're going to develop a transition game, coaches drilling the first 2 passes are key. That second pass there was almost full court, was terrific, absolutely laid right on the button for Drew.
I think as well that the defensive work by Adenican and Pfluger to get the ball free as well.
Yeah, it's a lovely slip out pass to create that start of transition.
Here's Williams, and he's just barreled into Adenican, who will be given a foul. I think that's going to be his second foul as well.
Yeah.
Eagles Bigs picking up the fouls.
Yeah, he made the mistake there, and there was a clear opportunity there for him and Drew to put the double team on that guy, but he just laid off wanting to use his height rather than closing down the gap on the player.
Adenican comes out on that 2 fouls and is replaced by Evan Maxwell.
Well, it's good, isn't it? Then you can rotate a player like Maxwell into the second quarter when he's just got the 2 fouls.
Jordan Williams makes the first.
I'm sure in Coach McLeod's mind would be at some time he would think of backing Maxwell up with Adenican, as well as his other moves that he does with backing him up with Darius.
Jordan Williams misses the second, and it's a great rebound by Justin Gordon in front of Max Wigan. Edwards comes into the game. Not quite sure what happened there. There's a lot of shouting for a double dribble by the Worcester players, or even a carry there from Lasker. Lasker drives hard at the basket, can't quite make it, and I think that's going to be a foul by Jordan Williams on Evan Maxwell. The one, no, it's been called on Evan. It's been called on Evan Maxwell. Wow. One-man whistle machine. Didn't see a foul there at all, Dave. Yeah.
I'm disciplined. I'm not going to say anything.
It's one of them ones where when we look back at the
Let
video,
get on with it.
Well, it is interesting that a lot of the calls seem to be coming from the same referee, but if he sees it, he sees it, and if he sees it, he has to call it. That's the way he sees the game. Turnover there by Worcester, though, gives the ball back to the Eagles. Pfluger throws it halfway to Edwards. Edwards uses the screen from Defoe, elevates up, and lays it in with his left hand. Simple as that. 35-21 to the Eagles.
A great example there for all young players of how important it is to develop your game, being able to use both hands.
That's going to be an offensive foul by Jordan Williams. Him and Darius Defoe having a real battle underneath the basket.
Well, the one player, well, there's more than one player, but in particular they can't afford to get Jordan Williams in foul trouble.
That is his second foul.
Yeah, and he's been very, very physical off the ball, which is sometimes not the smartest thing to do.
Great pass from Fletcher. Gordon does well though, because it just went over his head when he got the first touch. He's battling hard again. Oh, he's turned. Oh, doesn't make the layup. He turned Lawson inside out though there.
Yeah.
Once again, Williams brings the ball up. Boutneck loses it, and Edwards can pick it up. Floats it across to Justin Gordon, who almost lost it. Somehow, well, not quite sure what happened there. I think Gordon was in so much space he almost forgot the ball was coming his way, and it just he managed to save it and threw it back to Ramon Fletcher, and Ramon Fletcher couldn't handle it, and it went out eventually off a Worcester player for sideline ball to the Eagles. Fletcher gives it to Edwards.
I think I'm right in thinking that the Worcester player who's guarding Fletch there is somebody who had Newcastle had an interest in pre-season.
Yeah, Mika Roland put up fantastic numbers at a third division college in America. He was player of the year, conference player of the year, and when it was discovered he had a British passport, I think there was a lot of BBL clubs in for him. And I know the Eagles were very interested in him, but possibly bringing him in. Didn't think he was quite ready for the BBL.
Yeah.
And we're going to loan him out to Team Newcastle, but that never happened because he changed agents, and his agent's got him moved to Worcester.
Yeah, I mean, when the first game where the Americans played, which I think was a Sky game, I was pretty impressed with him that game. More impressed than I was when he played here for the Wolves in December.
Timeout called by Coach McLeod.
Well, out of nowhere, it seems like the Eagles have just strolled away, doesn't it, to a 16.
Okay, Dave, you're just going to say the Eagles up by 16, yeah?
Yeah, it just seems as though they've effortlessly drifted away and controlling this game without actually being able to pinpoint anything that's really created it. I mean, they're trying to run the transition. I think probably more than anything, I think the defense is doing a really good job limiting the easy opportunities that the Wolves are getting.
It seems, I don't know whether Wolves have been able to train in these last couple of weeks, when they've missed games. Perhaps they haven't been able to train, and I know the four Americans we talked about have played 4 games each, but it's still early in their careers and still adjusting probably to this country as well. But at the moment, it seems as if it's the Jordan Williams show.
You never know, do you, when a team has those 2 weeks off for those reasons, whether they're going to come back fresh or come back rusty, and you're probably the latter.
Yeah, here's Boutneck driving in, trying to find somebody, can't find it. Fletcher picks it up. This is going to be to Gordon, and there's going to be a slam down. Thank you, ma'am. 2 points to Justin Gordon. I think the point you made about Boutneck, he was outstanding in that game before Christmas, and he's hardly figured it all in this one. Here's Elan. Lawson into Williams. Williams is stripped by Gordon, but he manages to get it back. Throws it back to Boutneck. We're inside 4 seconds. Elan has to put up the 3. It does hit the rim, but it doesn't go in. And Eagles tidy up the rebound, and Eddie Matthew, who's on for the first down, he gets the ball away, but he gives it away to Boutneck. And Boutneck's in for 2 points.
Yeah, Boutneck looks to me like a player who should wants to be more involved in running the game, and I think that would be good for the Wolves. But obviously they've made these changes. These guys have got to learn to play together.
Gordon, Matthew into Defoe. That's going to be a foul by Boutneck. Clear slap on Defoe as Defoe trying to gather the ball in. I think we're going to see Lamar Kimball come back in. And he's going to be coming on for Mika Relan. He goes up by 16 and on the offense. 5:59 to go in the half. That's far too easy, but it's well seen by Ramon Fletcher. Cortez then
Terrific run off a high post screen, wasn't it? Great curl play. Great curl play.
He just drifted into the middle and Fletcher found him cleanly and in it went. There's Kimball, a nice drive to the basket, lays it in for two. Just come on. Fletcher picks up Gordon. Gordon gives it back to Fletcher, but Fletcher can't get a hold of that one. And it's Jordan Williams who seems almost as if he's got the ball all the time. He has Boutneck. Nice cross-court pass. Kimball goes up for two, doesn't make it. But this time it's Parks who manages to get the offensive rebound in front of Cortez Edwards and lays it in for two. 41-27 Eagles. Fletcher shaking and baiting, gives it to Gordon, and that's going to be a foul by Parks and a basket by Defoe as he drove in and was fouled by Gordon. Going to be a substitution for the Eagles, and it's Justin Gordon once again coming out, and Shorey Adenikin coming on. Darius Defoe, who laid the ball in for two, will take the extra shot. And it goes again.
Yeah, I think if I was Coach McLeod, you've got Evan Maxwell on 3 fouls. I'd like to keep Darius and Justin Gordon getting no more than 2. They're on both on 2 at the moment.
Williams again, almost solo effort. That's one of the things I was going to mention. This Worcester side isn't. There's a lot of one-out play going on from them. Down 44-29 as Edwards finds Fletcher. Fletcher will step back and shoot the three. Swishes through the net from Ramon Fletcher, almost casual three. As they go up by 18 at 47-29. This is probably danger time for the Eagles. They always seem to get these type of leads and then sit back. Jordan Williams now trying to shoot a three. Cortez Edwards comes over halfway, finds his backcourt partner in Fletcher. Fletcher behind the back, around it goes. Into Adenikin. Masterclass from Fletcher.
Well, what about Adenikin?
Yeah,
That's the third, if not the fourth time he's trailed the play and got ahead of it right at the absolutely crucially the right time. He converted 2 of them, and now he's got the reward of going to take 2 from the charity stripe.
Yeah, really good position he took up. Fletcher's hands once again excellent and rewarded Adenikin for his positioning by finding him with the points. It's a shame it didn't go in first time, but if he makes one of these 2, obviously Fletcher does get an assist.
And where Adenikin is a really useful acquisition is you look at Maxwell on 3, Justin on 3, Darius on 2, and Darius on 2. That's a great person to have handy just in case.
Makes both look very solid from the line, makes them both.
Yeah, because nobody can tell me if he's not around the ring, he ain't going to change shots, because he is.
Lewis Sayers a back on for Eddie Matthew. Looked a bit disappointed Eddie to go off. I think probably more in the way he played than the actual substitution. So Eagles put a little bit of a press on.
You know, the time to test him out is when you're 20 up.
Kimball's shot, it comes off the backboard. 3 Americans combined in there. Anderson, Lawson and Kimball for the shot, but it didn't go in. And Fletcher steps back for 3, not long 2, sorry. He's on the line, but he knocks it down, and suddenly the Eagles are 51-29 in front. Looking really smooth. He has Kimball going hard. Jordan Williams thought about the 3, but drives inside. Makes the layup for 2. Fletcher,
good finish there by Jordan, because there was a lot of contact on him.
Meanwhile, at the other end, Cortez Edwards is in straight away for
pure class, wasn't it? Pure class.
Can't take your eyes off this Eagles transition offense. It's really the pace. It's incredible. Here's Jordan Williams again. Fake the 3 and drives inside. Goes for the layup, and he's fouled as he goes up. Doesn't make the 2. Referees conferring. Both 2 referees foul call on different players. The foul was given on Cortez Edwards. Darius Defoe takes a seat and Justin Gordon comes back on. Eagles up by 22, 53-31. Jordan Williams makes the first. Misses the second, which is pretty much his average. Lawson did well to battle with Adenican for the rebound. Kimball inbound. Again, ball to Williams. It's deflected away by Cortez Edwards as Kimball tried to cut to the basket. I have to say that Wolves do look a little bit disjointed, Dave, to me. You know, every time they get the ball, it's into Williams, who I think's played every minute so far. Turnaround jump shot is missed. Lawson does well to get a hand on it. Anderson picks up the loose ball. Lewis Sayers all over him. Here's Williams once again going to the basket. Out in the corner, and that's a 3-point shot from KJ Lawson. Fletcher uses a screen back to Louis Sayers. Louis Sayers goes driving into the basket. He's fouled as he goes towards the basket. It's going to be a foul. And that's on number 77, Henry Wilkins.
Yeah, Henry bailed him out there because Lewis had just lost the plot a little bit there. He made a great penetrating move and then he had a fairly easy finish, but I think he just panicked a little bit. But he's got the bonus of the 2 from the free throw line.
This is the first. We always say this about Lewis Sayers, don't we? We wonder sometimes if the free throw line's too close for him. This is the first, front rim. Settles himself for the second. Second one's good. Eagles up 54-35.
The cool way he took that second one, he should be on 100%.
Anderson brings it up, gives it to Lawson. Wilkins cut right out, but well followed by Fletcher. Lawson back to Anderson. Anderson going against Gordon. He's not going to get much joy if he does that. Adenican drops back. There's a 3-point shot up by Kimball, and in it goes. Nice shot from Lamar Kimball. There's Fletcher at the other end driving hard to the basket, flicks it out to Sayers. Sayers comes inside and knocks down a 2. Nice play from Lewis Sayers. Coach McLeod may have called a timeout. Ball goes end line, and it's a timeout to the Eagles, and we'll go to an advert break. So back with 1:44 to go in the first half. Eagles lead 56-38, and I think probably Ian McLeod just wants to emphasise no more fouls. We've got a good lead. Let's just be sensible in this last 1:44.
Yeah, I think it's a team issue, isn't it? He's talking to them about now, but on an individual basis, great move by Lewis. You know, you talk to even young players, you coach them, and you teach them how to drive to the basket. If the defence suddenly cuts off that route to the basket, one thing it's difficult for the defence to do is take on a player who pulls up and does a floater or a runner. And especially when Lewis Sayre did not only that, he did a bit of a sidestep as well to take himself even further away. That was a really, really good move from Lewis.
Just looking at the leading scorers for the Eagles, Justin Gordon has 12 points, Ramon Fletcher 11 points and 11 assists. Cortez Edwards 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Darius DeVoe 7 points off the bench. Louis Sayers 5 points. Still Adenican down for 4, but I think he's got 6, but we'll let that one go. Jordan Williams though leads the all scorers in the game with 15 points for Wolves. Here's Rex Fluger going hard at the basket, doesn't make the layup though. And Jordan Williams not only takes the rebound, he's going to go coast to coast. Does go coast to coast, but doesn't make the shot, and he's fouled. Fouls on Shorey Adenican. That'll be his third. Williams, as we said, played every minute of this game so far. This is his 7th and 8th trip to the line. Misses them both, so he's now 3 of 8 from the line. Gordon. Necking. Lewis Sayers. Back out to Gordon. Gordon's going to shoot the 3. That one hits the front of the rim. Good positioning by Jordan Williams to take the rebound.
Yeah, great box out.
Gives it to Anderson. Anderson back to Williams. There's Kimball turning the corner. He might want to put up a 3. He's already knocked one. He's trying to work hard. Gets to the basket. Doesn't make it. But Jordan Williams is there to clean up. Offensive rebound and put back for 2 points. Eagles up 56-40 as we tick inside the last minute of the half. Edwards, nice turn of the corner, gives it to Sayers. Sayers puts up the 3, and Louis Sayers knocks down the 3. Takes the Eagles up to 19 points. Possibly 2 more offenses in this half. This one from Worcester. Once again, the ball in the hands of Jordan Williams. Seem to have been saying that an awful lot tonight. Justin Gordon's going to stand there with him, and Adenican helps him out, and the Eagles come away with the ball. 9 seconds left on the clock. Fluger, nice pass to the side. Lewis Sayers just misses the 3, and that's called it for the day. Half-time, Eagles lead 59-40, and well worthy of that lead, Dave.
Yeah, I think it's a comfortable 19 points. I mean, pick you up on something you said before the game. You weren't sure whether this was going to be a really, really tight game or whether the Eagles going to run away and win comfortably. Well, your latter was the correct situation at the moment. And the issues to me is, first of all, the missing Matthew Bryan and Manning massively for all the things he did from that first game. Secondly, Boundneck is nowhere near as effective in this game as he was in the first. And then other thing is the Eagles have absolutely got themselves up for this game defensively. They're making it really tough. One person who's not reading this particularly well is Jordan Williams, because the tougher the Eagles play on him, the more he wants to try and do it by himself. That can't work. He's got to use his teammates a little bit more.
So that's Dave's assessment, and we'll be back with some stats before the start of the second half, and the Eagles leading 59-40 at the half-time break. Welcome back to the Eagles Community Arena for the second half of tonight's BBL Championship game between the Newcastle Eagles and the Worcester Wolves, with the Eagles leading 59-40. That is obviously the most important stat of all, the scoreline, but just having a quick look at the individual scorers, we've got a little bit of a dispute going on between ourselves and the table, but we'll see if we can get that one settled. We think Ramon Fletcher leads the Eagles with 11, and Justin Gordon has 10, not 12. And Cortez Edwards has 10, but Ramon Fletcher not only has 11 points, he also has 11 assists. Justin Gordon has 4 rebounds to go with his 10 points, and Cortez Edwards, once again, halfway through the game, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, flirting with a triple-double if he doubles that up in the second half. But Eagles getting good support from the bench with Louis Sayers on 8 points, and Darius DeFore on 7, and Shorey Adenican with 6 points. For Worcester, it pretty much looks like a 2-man show, you could say, but certainly a 1-man show. Just Jordan Williams played all 20 minutes, and he's got 15 points and 6 rebounds. Brandon Anderson has 9 points off the bench, and Mike Parks Jr. has 8 points and 6 rebounds. But I think the team stats are the ones which Dave's probably going to point out, particularly the shooting percentages.
Everything's in the Eagles' favour, isn't it? 69.4% to 45.5% shooting. Very, very difficult for anybody to win a game when you're 24% worse off. I mean, the only good bit of news for the Worcester Wolves is that they've been to the free throw line more than the Eagles. 19 assists to 5, only 3 turnovers by the Eagles against 8. But look at the efficiency. Eagles 87 to 34. Bench scoring 24 to 8. The only good thing I can think of, as far as the Worcester Wolves are concerned, that is that the Eagles' transition is not in its normal good form tonight. Because if it was, this wouldn't be a 20-point game; it'd be about a 40-point game.
Fouls possibly could play a part in the second half. We do have Shorey Adenekan on 3 fouls and Evan Maxwell on 3 fouls, but Darius Defoe just on the 2. So again, the Eagles have got those 3 guys to rotate around as well. So we'll probably be looking to do that this second half. But it's a 19-point lead, and what the Eagles will be wanting to do, I would imagine, is to try and.
We'll probably have to fix it.
Right. We just have to all the viewers, we do have one little hiccup, and that is that the net at the moment needs attention. So we're probably going to have to send our production team round to fix that before we can start the second half. Yeah, I mean, it's no use going on about Matthew O'Brien and Manning not being here. Jeff, he isn't here, and he's gone, and somebody's got to fill his boots. And I've been a little bit disappointed with the Worcester forwards, and I'm really big on Jordan. God, what's his name again? Jordan Williams. My fault. I'm really big on, but there's one thing he's got to learn is that the Eagles, he gets getting some good positions inside with the ball and without the ball. When he has the ball, he's got to recognise that the Eagles are doing a terrific job defending the hoop. He's got to kick it out to teammates who are wide open because of the fact that he's surrounded by 3 players.
Well, I think that's something that I did notice that Jordan Williams was in deep conversation with Coach Newby, and perhaps that's something they were trying to work out between themselves. You know, it is very difficult when you get players coming in after, you know, and Worcester virtually gave up the cup, didn't they? You know, because they didn't bring their Americans in till after the cup, and you know, these guys, and again, we don't know how much the COVID situation has affected them, because obviously they did have to have 2 weeks off and were in self-isolation. So, you know, there's things like that as well to take into consideration, and you know. But having said that, I'm saying that is making excuses, but they have won the last 3 games as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, probably one of the most startling facts in recent years is that the NBA is now shooting about 60% more 3-point shots than they were doing about 5 years ago. But there's one other thing they've picked up from European teams. One of the greatest games to develop in this is an inside-outside game. Because if you can get a team to collapse around you inside, and there's 3 guys on Jordan, he needs to kick out of those people who are open. Yeah. And if they haven't got 3-point shooters, then Coach Newby will give them more shooting practice in practice.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you know, coming into this game, they had 2 3-point shooters who are way above anybody from the Eagles. I mean, Martin Boutnick, who we talked about, who had a really good game last December, he's actually shooting 48% from 3-point range. You know, and he hasn't even put up a single 3-point shot tonight. I'm
not going to be critical of Coach Newby at all. I'm one of his biggest fans. You know, the way he brought that Leeds franchise through. I mean, I think I first coached against him about 15 years ago, and great guy, and I love the effort he puts in and everything else, and he's doing a really good job at Worcester. I mean, after all, he took them to the cup final last year. But you know, these players are going to learn to play together. This is the team now, and it is on paper stronger than what they had before. But you got to recognise when some things aren't going right, and Boutnick is just not as effective tonight as he was in his role that he played here when he came here before.
And again, you know, you think, well, is it the COVID effect? But I mean, he has played 14 minutes as well, and you know, it just for him, it just not the Martin Boutnick that's been playing all season. And again, just looking down there at half court, and once again, Jordan Williams and Matt Newby together.
Yeah, well, I think you know, all these X's and O's are good, but I think the biggest factor is how the Eagles have got up for this game.
Yeah.
Absolutely no doubt at all in my mind that there's within that camp. There's obviously they've been pleased the way they've got out of jail in these last few games. They'll be chuffed to bits with that quarter-final win the other night, and they come back against the London Lions to win the first trophy of the season. But they mean business tonight with the way they're playing defence. And the only thing that's missing from their game tonight is early on it looked like they were going to do well again in transition, but actually it's not turned into points. I think it's only eight points from transition tonight. Yeah.
At the moment, that's fast break points, just 8, and that's unusual for the Eagles. Did have a I interviewed Rex Fluger last night for the preview piece for the papers, but when we finished the interview, we did a little bit longer chat afterwards, and Rex, that feeling that I've got when I get a chance to talk to the guys is that this is a team that's so together, really together. And Rex gave did put it in the interview, but Rex gave the likes of Darius Defoe, Drew Lasker and Ramon Fletcher so much praise for the way they've helped the new guys settle in, and the way they've took them under the wings and brought everybody together. And I know, speaking again to Fletch last week, he was telling me about this team's just got a really nice feel about it, sort of thing. And he said himself, we might not win anything else, but he says it's got a really nice feel about it. It's a real pleasure to play in.
Yeah.
And he says where it's really good, he says it's practice. He says it's an absolute pleasure going to practice. When you hear a player saying that, you know you must be on the right lines.
Great for chemistry.
Yeah. So teams have gone to the benches. Looks like the Eagles production team for the video, which will now become the courtside technicians, have sorted out the net. Often wonder, big shout out here. I often wonder what the Eagles would do without Les and Stewart. So it's like
yeah, I'm impressed the way they're racing up those steps to get up here to start the second half for us.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pleased to see Drew got some minutes in that first, and this is not an issue with me about who comes on first, Eddie Matthews or Drew Matthews. I mean, to me, it's all about circumstances. Is it a case for Eddie? Do we need somebody who can come out and stretch the deep, or is it a situation where Drew's energy, his experience, and the way he blends with those other two in the backcourt? That's up to the coach. But I'm just pleased that he's got some minutes tonight.
They were very effective minutes as well. And picked up 5 points and that blocked shot as well, which turned into an offense where Eagles scored 2 points. So just looking at the starting fives, Eagles back out with a starting five from the first half, which is
going back to chemistry, Jeff. I think it's a great point you brought up there. When Adeniki got that second of the basket, I looked straight at the bench, and everyone on the bench was off the feet applauding him.
Yeah, I think again it's one of those things we've just talked about, isn't it? He's come in late, and he's got to learn to play with these guys and learn these guys, and I think that's probably as much as why they were so happy about it. Anyway, we're back underway, and it's Wolves who've got the first offense of the game. Rex Fluger, and really good, tough defense by Rex Fluger, and he got the ball away to Cortez Edwards, and as Gordon went up the court, is accidentally tripped, I felt, by Lawson, but referee McDonald thought it was an unfair, and despite the fact that the Eagles were moving forward, he called it back to court to give
Well, from coaching defensive point of view there, I would take that clip of Rex Fluger's defense and show it to everybody. Wide base feet, really spread his body, made it really tough for the offensive player to go anywhere.
Edwards found Maxwell inside, but Maxwell couldn't make the layup. Worcester back on the attack. He has Bogneck, and he's thrown that one straight out of play. Communication breakdown. He's having a long look at Mike Parks.
I think he's going to say to that play, you had him sealed. I was hoping you would step to receive the pass, which is why he threw it away to the right, to the hand furthest away from the defender. Really good seal, I must say that, by the post player.
There's Maxwell, the other end, going up against Parks. Steps back, tries the 2-point shot, doesn't go in. Jordan Williams comes away with the rebound. He finds Kimball. Kimball goes in deep. Again, it's Williams faced by Gordon. Again, good defense by the Eagles. And Parks' shot is off, and Cortez Edwards there to take the rebound in front of Justin Gordon. I'm laughing because Justin Gordon thought that rebound was all his, and Edwards just sneaked in. And perhaps Justin Gordon's mind just wandered a little bit there, because he then shoots an air ball through the other end.
I think I'll step in and deflect from that air ball and just mention how good he is defensively when he can match up against a bigger guy and take him, and then he can go and take a quick guard and do a job on him as well. Just in case he watches this and we want him to forget that air ball.
Kimball makes a nice 2-pointer from the elbow. It's an interesting point you just made there about Justin Gordon, because again, wow. Well, I was just about to say that Ramon Fletcher produces yet another highlight play, driving through the middle, laying it in with his left hand to put the Eagles up by 19 again. He has Kimball. He looks as he wants to be a bit more active. Turn around back to Williams. Williams, nice spin move. does get the back. But he can't
Again,
make
he's
it.
going into 3 players when he had a wide open 15-footer, or maybe even closer. He had a wide open 12-footer.
Nice drop off by Fletcher, and that's going to be a foul by Parks. As Maxwell drove into the basket and laid in for 2. Parks moving all the time, and easy foul to call.
Yeah, good coaching from Coach McLeod there. He's explaining to the bench what was good about that move and what they should be looking at, and maybe some reaction to the way they're playing defence. Good coaching.
So Maxwell made the basket. Chance for an and one. Makes the and one as well. Puts the Eagles up by 22.
So this is where Evan plays really smart and gets the whole of this quarter without getting his 4th foul.
That's what he'll be hoping. That's obviously what the Eagles will be hoping as well. Jordan Williams once again driving in on 3 or 4 players, but this time doesn't make the layup.
The difference there, though, was that he split the 2.
You've just mentioned about the foul on Evan Maxwell, and that one was called on him. Although, to be fair, looking at his face and looking at Coach McLeod, I'm not sure that they agree with it.
No, I mean, the difference there was he had an opportunity to split 2 defenders, and the 3rd defender was behind the basket rather than stepping in front of it.
I think I would definitely agree with that point there, but it just worries me from a Worcester point of view that every time they're on offense, it seems to be that the ball has to go into Jordan's hands.
Yeah.
You know, and we know.
And when we think back, I remember our commentary in the game before Christmas. We were always talking about Worcester's good teamwork, and that was a lot down to Bowneck, and that just isn't happening tonight because he's not getting his hands on the ball as much.
And he's missed both free throws. He's now 3 of 10 from the free throw line. Justin Gordon throws it away, and Martin Boutnick brings it up.
Well, I was talking about liking the inside-outside game, and so does Justin, but he just needs to look with his lead with his head to see where he's passing the ball.
Here's Lawson back out. Kimball will shoot the 3. Kimball will make the 3. So there you go. There's a nice offense which didn't involve Jordan
he's clearly capable of stretching this Eagles defence out if they leave him wide open. I think, is that the 2nd or 3rd he's knocked down?
That's the 2nd in this quarter he's knocked down,
Yeah.
Fletcher goes at him at the other end, and that'll be a foul by Kimball. Can't turn your back on somebody when they're driving to the basket. It'll be automatic foul. The point I was going to make before, Dave, was again talking to Ramon Fletcher last week, and he was very much praising Justin Gordon's defence, and he said there'll be times as the season goes on that we might even find him defending the point guard.
Well, you can. I think you're right. You love multi-dimensional players. He can pretty much guard anybody.
Well, Fletcher missed the free throw.
Justin, that's the 2nd pass you've thrown without leading with your head to see what's available.
Cortez Edwards has the ball popped away from him by Martin Boutnick. Brandon Anderson comes on for Mike Parks. Sometimes talk about body language, and I'm not sure that Mike Parks' body language is very good for the Worcester bench at the moment. Yes, Justin Gordon turning against KJ Lawson. Gets past him and was going to lay it in for 2. Yep, it's been given as 2. Was on the rim when he touched it. 2 points.
Can't interfere with it in the cylinder, is that right?
Yep. What I love about any type of sport is referees make a decision. It's the player then goes on, and the player's still arguing about it. It's not going to get changed. Get on with it. That's what I always say. Here's Boutnick. Fletcher almost gets it. Gordon again. Tough defense for the Eagles, and I think that's what you said before, Dave. That's pretty much. That's what I think Ian McLeod's going to be really pleased about tonight.
I mean, these Eagles players are smart in the sense they know what a good game Bowneck had last time against them. They know what a good game Jordan Williams had, and they're really being tough on both of them.
Oh, great pop by Anderson from behind against Fletcher, and there's a long pass by Jordan Williams to Lawson. Here's Boutnick. Williams drives inside. Boutnick finds Lawson outside for 3, and Lawson knocks down the 3.
He showed in the first half as well that he's got range.
A little bit better that from Worcester, definitely. Nice movement. Boutnecker was the man who orchestrated it, but at the other end it's Cortez Edwards driving to the basket and Boutneck fouls him as he drives in. Rex Fluger comes out, as does Justin Gordon, and it's Lewis Sayers and Shorey Adenekan. Must remember it's an N on the end and not an E. Shorey.
Well, Jeff, you've got to get it right because I'll just repeat what you say.
Yeah, having Geordie Shaw as a programme up here, and then we signed Shorey, and that was the first thing I was told. It's not Shaw, it's Shorey, or Shorey. Certainly not Shaw anyway, which is a shame really, isn't it, when you've got that Geordie Shaw link. So here's Worcester coming back in. Williams, Lawson, Anderson, much better ball movement, but once again, Eagles get the ball away. This time it was Lewis Sayers. And then Justin Gordon fouled.
Yep.
Sorry, Shorey Adenekan fouled as he picked the ball up.
Yeah, you said much better, and I think we've got to give credit for Worcester. They are improving this half. I mean, they were 19 down at the half. They've only gone down by a further 1 point in the first 5 minutes, and there's been a lot of areas of improvement in their performance in this second half. That also could be that the Eagles have just lost a little bit of the intensity had in the first half, although you wouldn't think that from some of the defences they've played.
Adenekan at the line. If Worcester are in the penalty already with 5:07 to go in the third quarter, misses the first one. Misses the second. Easy rebound for Jordan Williams. Anderson brings it up. He finds Lawson. Lawson's going to shoot another three and makes another three. Signs of life from the Worcester Americans.
Yeah. Two guys there, the guard and Lawson, who show that they can stretch this Eagles defence.
Well, Matt Newby wasn't going to take Jordan Williams out of this game, I don't think at all, but referee McDonald gets him out of the game, noticed some blood on Jordan Williams' hand, and has asked for him to be subbed out. Good call from the referee,
Yep.
He spotted that. So the Worcester for the first time tonight without Jordan Williams on the floor. Fletcher's behind the back pass to Defoe. Defoe gives him his assist by knocking down the 2-point shot from the elbow.
I would criticise the Worcester defence there. He had an eternity to get that shot off.
Great drive to the basket by Lawson, but can't make the layup, and Fletcher spins past Boutneck. Going his pace, gives it into Cortez Edwards, and that's going to be a big foul by Mike Parks coming across for the block. And Edwards faked it, and
Yeah.
there's a big body to land on top of
Yeah,
that.
it was, but Parks got straight up, hand out to Cortez Edwards, helped him to his feet. Good sportsmanship. Nice to see.
Edwards will go up the line to shoot two. Makes the first. Misses the second. There's Boutneck outside to Lawson, who thought about the three, then steps inside, but that's going to be ball out of bounds. (71-51), 4 minutes to go. Fletcher brings the ball forward. Louis Sayers almost ran into Defoe as he was waiting for Fletcher to cut the basket. Fletcher made a really good cut to the basket, but nice defensive play by Lawson to knock the ball dead on the end line.
Well, talk about knocking the ball out. I mean, he was wide open enough there to knock down that shot at this other end. I think he should have taken it on because his team's 20 behind. Sometimes you're not to accept when you need points in a hurry.
Fletcher puts the ball up, doesn't make it, and Nicken can't get in for the rebound. Once again, Lawson. And at the other end, Anderson knocks down the three. So these Americans are certainly coming into the game in the second half.
Rest my case.
Yep. 71-54.
When you get this far down, you've got to take the easy looks.
That's going to be a foul by Parks. Timeout called. By Newcastle Eagles. Advert breakover. Big thanks to our Eagles local sponsor, Give to Local. Our production team play the advert for it, and we get back to the action. Eagles timeout, 71-54. I think possibly Macau just wants to settle things down a little bit.
Well, they're at the line at the minute, and obviously, you know, the 5 fouls from Worcester. You got to say that's the way it should be, because they've come out. They have stepped up their defence. I don't think, apart from some moments, the Eagles' defence is quite as tough this quarter as it was in the first half. They've got to accept that they're going to pick up fouls by stepping up the intensity. But that was a silly foul to give away. The guy was going nowhere. He's driven across away from the basket, and he's passing it out.
Eagles getting terrific production from the bench tonight, but also from the starters. And Cortez Edwards rattles that free throw round. Meanwhile, it's half court. Darius Defoe and Ramon Fletcher discussing what they're going to have for supper when they get in. Edwards knocks down the second one. Drew Lasker comes on. Cortez Edwards takes a seat. Edwards up to 14 points personal with 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Here's Anderson into Williams, who's back on after having changed his shorts, which were covered in blood. Adenican almost picks up a foul, and he will pick up a foul now. Putting a body on Williams as Williams turns to try and shoot the two.
Well, Justin got his reward there because he played it smart. He was trying to back the player, and he felt 2 players behind him, so he kicked it out. And when that ball went back in the second time, he had a much better opportunity to back in and turn round and put the ball up for an easy 2. Maybe this is what Coach Newby was talking to him about at half-time and during one of the earlier timeouts.
This time he's airballed his free throw. Blaming the bandage. That's 3 of 11 from the line at the moment for Jordan Williams. Meanwhile, that was the 4th foul for Shori Adenican. Once again, there's obviously a cut on his finger there, and he's.
So much as Lawson would love to take this free throw, of course it has to be the substitute, doesn't it?
I think it's his thumb, or round about his thumb area. So the substitute comes on. It's Josh Musquiggan. He'll have to take the second free throw. Makes it.
Well, he's been on the bench a long time, coming in cold. Nice shot.
One wonders if it would have been the same had Jordan been on the line. But it went in, and it's a 17-point gap at the moment. The Eagles moving the ball around. Fletcher thought about the 3, comes inside. Well guarded by Kimball this time.
What a pass.
Long pass out to Sears, and Sears doesn't make the 3 though. Time was ticking down. Here's Kimball. Kimball shaking and baking. Lawson, McSwiggan for three. McSwiggan knocks down the three.
I
Not
thought,
only coming off the bench.
I thought in the first half when he came, and I thought he was showing good form on the shot he took.
So it's down to 14 points. Nice pass inside from Fletcher. Defoe, that's going to be a foul. Foul on 7 White. Justin Gordon comes back. Shore Adam Nickinson takes a seat. Jordan Williams back in. Lamar Kimball doesn't look too happy about being taken out for Jordan Williams, but
Well, of course, they've had a good run, haven't they? And suddenly they're on a night where it's not going for them. But having said that, they don't need to be looking unhappy at the moment because they've improved in this second half.
dropped out to 14 as Darius Defoe misses the first free throw. Up to 50. Defoe makes the second. Ball's back on the offense. Lawson. Anderson comes out. Tries to set up the play with Boutneck, but doesn't get there. Max Swiggan. He'll back down Drew Lasker. Turn around jump shot is no good. Justin Gordon takes the rebound. Fletcher brings it away. He tried to thread it through the needle to Defoe, but well picked out by Anderson, who drives down the other end hard. Boutneck to Lawson in the corner. Lawson for three, and he's knocked down another one.
Do you know what's really improved for Worcester point of view, Jeff, is the tempo in terms of how much they're moving the ball.
Yeah, and other people taking shots as well and knocking them down. And it's a 12-point game. Fletcher's missed his shot at this end, but Justin Gordon in for there.
No, going back to that point about the NBA and 60% more three-point shots over the last 5 years, one of the big reasons is they move the ball quicker. Some fantastic ball movement in the NBA these days. That was a great example of how to make an easy three from the corner.
Justin Gordon at the line for 2 shots, makes the first. Worcester had cut the gap to 12. Gordon makes them both. Eagles now up to 40, lead by 14. Remember, it was 19 at the half, so Worcester are winning this quarter. Boutneck finds Max Swiggan. Max Swiggan's going to go up for 3, and that one's in again. Certainly finding a range from long range. It's 11 points now, the difference. It's starting to become inside the last minute of the third quarter. Good defense by Josh McSwiggan. He seems to have given them a little bit of a spark since he come off the bench. This is something we were talking about last week with the Eagles. They get so far in front, they just seem to switch off a little bit. Although that would be a little bit unfair. Justin Gordon, though, they switched on there. Great drive to the basket and lane for 2. It's being a little bit unfair on Worcester there, who've done a really good job in trying to bring this back.
Well, Justin Gordon was always going to win that foot race.
That's a foul by Lewis Sayers from behind.
No danger to the Eagles because that was only the second, was it, or the third team foul with only 34 seconds to go?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll be an end line. Is it end line or sideline? Which way are we going? Sideline. Boutneck to put it in to Williams. Big shout, a screen from the Eagles bench. Anderson does well to come inside, knocks a shot out, but doesn't make it. Lewis Sayers takes the rebound, good rebound, and inside the last 20 seconds. 2-second differential between shot clock and game clock. The Eagles probably going to run down as far as they can. Oh well, they would have done, but there's a Darius Defoe is almost indignant about. He went to the basket and was fouled. And Anderson's long range three almost dropped in there. Jordan Williams couldn't be the Eagles bench, but it was just to see if he can get a bit more attention to his hand. So, 1 quarter to go. Eagles lead by 15, 79 to 64. But 24-20 point quarter to the Worcester Wolves, which will give maybe a little bit of a lift.
15 now, and I think they got it back to 12.
Yeah.
And this second quarter's in 2 parts. One is a holding operation by the Worcester Wolves where they didn't go any further behind in the first part of this, and the second part when they really started to catch up. And the biggest difference was their spacing. They spaced the Eagles' defence out much better in the second half of this quarter. And that's why they were able to, I don't know how many threes they took in that spell, but they certainly got some really good looks from the 3-point line.
Well, at half time, they were 3 of 8 from the 3-point line, and now they're 10 of 16.
Yeah. So 7
of 8.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And it showed, and also what's also showed is the point scoring. You know, Jordan Williams still only on 17 points. Say only, still 17 points. Lamar Kimball up to 10, KJ Lawson up to 12, Brandon Anderson up to 12, Josh Swiggin on 7. So it's been shared around a little bit more.
Yeah, got to keep that space in because he's been causing the Eagles problems. It was easily for the Eagles to defend when they were banging the ball inside and trying to score that way. But as soon as they've spread the Eagles' defence out and they're moving the ball quicker, they're making it much easier to find good scoring opportunities.
For the Eagles, Justin Gordon has 20 points and 9 rebounds. Cortez Edwards 14 points and Ramon Fletcher 13 points. And Ramon Fletcher, he's got more assists than points. He's got 14 assists. Darius Defoe also in double figures on 10. Fletcher trying to find Gordon inside. He does find Gordon inside. Gordon turns, pivot foot, stays still. Almost put Lawson up in the air. Didn't get the shot off, or got the shot off but didn't make it, and almost got the offensive rebound. And that's going to be a foul by Ramon Fletcher at the other end.
Yeah, just back to the Eagles' last offense. Justin Gordon loves that little bit of flex action, doesn't he, when he's on the weak side away from the ball and he gets the cross screen.
Jordan Williams leaves it off to Boutneck. Jordan Williams going to shoot from the elbow, or doesn't make it. Lawson almost got up the rebound, but the bundle of energy, that's Justin Gordon. Oh. Justin Gordon called for a charge and foul. Not many people in here, it's all staff, and I think you probably can gather by the reaction what they thought of that call.
No comment.
No, I didn't make any comment, just mention what other people. Meanwhile, the moisture removal technician on court with his mop.
I don't know where you get these from, Jeff, but that was brilliant. The moisture removal expert. That's
removal technician, yep.
It's the highlight of the commentary tonight.
Kimball turning the corner against Defoe. Defoe just puts his hip out that little bit too far.
And it covers up the fact, Jeff, that as commentators we should have been saying that last situation was a no call.
Just tell us in our commentary rules and regulations that we shouldn't criticise referees, but sometimes...
We didn't. I just said it should have been a no call.
Yeah, but sometimes, well, you're not criticising, you're just giving your opinion what the call is. That's exactly right there. There's Kimball from the elbow, knocks down another 2 points.
When are these 3 guys in Worcester going to realise that they're doing it from the 3-point line? Keep your space in, Worcester.
Fletcher from the 3-point line, that's way out. And Worcester come away with the rebound. Boutneck to Kimball. Kimball, McSwiggan in the corner, arms up, looking for it. Kimball couldn't get the turnover again. Great defense by Ramon Fletcher. And Fletcher's going to take him up the other end. Doesn't make his shot. Lots of bodies pushing and shoving underneath the basket. He has Boutneck at the other end. He can't make it either. Jordan Williams can't gather it in. And the Eagles knock it away at the end line.
Get him off, he's got blood on his hand again.
Lewis Sayers comes off. Rex Fluger comes on. Drew Lasker comes off. Evan Maxwell comes on. Darius Defoe comes on. We have 23 to go. Jordan Williams, long pass out. Extra pass by Kimball to Lawson.
Great job. Great job. Wow.
This defence that Justin Gordon's playing at the moment is on a different level. Another great block, and he's going to try look for 3-point range. Well, perhaps he should just stick to defence. Well, short the 3-point effort. Eagles just a 13-point gap. Evan Maxwell on, he's got 4 fouls. Ball goes in the corner.
Well, I'm going to take you up on that 4-foul situation. You flash back to the last offence. Who had the ball against Maxwell on a one-on-one? Jordan Williams. What would you do if you're Jordan Williams and you see Maxwell on 4 fouls? Yeah.
Drive at him.
Yeah, I think Jordan missed a great opportunity there to put Maxwell under pressure, because you saw how Maxwell reacted when the guard went at him. He just simply got his body out the way to protect himself from that 5th foul. Jordan Williams gets himself one-on-one with Maxwell in that situation again. He ought to take him on.
I think as well, it's Jordan Williams, Eagles physio Alex Tervel moves up to the Worcester bench to deal with Jordan's injury, which is on his right, looks like his right thumb, or round about the right thumb.
Good point that, isn't it, when, you know, the hometown physio goes to help the opposition out. You see that happening in football as well. If you see a really bad injury on the floor, you sometimes see the physios from both teams coming out. Good sportsmanship.
A little bit of lack of offense from the Eagles at the minute. They had 59 points at the half. They've only got 79 now, so only 20 points in sort of just over 12
13 minutes to 12 minutes, yeah.
Whereas Worcester had 40 at the half, and they've had 26. So definite improvements, definite signs of life on the Worcester side. 13 points the gap, and they've got the ball at the end line.
Yeah, all came about with a change of strategy, and obviously that's come from the coaching team.
It'll be their ball at the Eagles' end line. Chance to cut the gap further. There's Max Swiggin, ordered by Fluger, the Boutneck. Evan Maxwell came over the top, then possibly a little bit lucky going 24 seconds. I don't think Worcester realised it was 24 seconds.
Well, it's interesting point in itself, isn't it, that Maxwell's matching up against the most active player on their team when he's on 4 fouls.
Well, I guess it's almost like a learning curve, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
13 points
I
up.
personally would have... I'm not sure how many fouls Justin Gordon's got, but I certainly will give Fluger a chance on Jordan Williams.
Rex Fluger, it is.
Probably the favourite would be Justin Gordon.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Eagles, Cortez Edwards had to put a shot up on the buzzer from a long way out to hit the front rim, and Max Wiggin it was who got the rebound. Boutneck drives to the basket and outside pass. Oh, what a great rebound that is from Lawson, and puts it back in.
And if we're not careful here, this will be single digits. Pull it back to 11. Eagles could do with an offense here to take a little bit of the pressure off.
It's going to be a foul on the floor.
Well, we've got a reversal of the foul situation in this quarter. This time in the last quarter, it was them on 3, Eagles on 1. This is where it's the other way around. Eagles only 1 away from the penalty with still, 6 to go.
Foul was on Max Wiggin. Gordon finds Maxwell inside. Maxwell nicely up.
Yeah, great ceiling. Defence should never allow him to take that position, but you've got to credit Maxwell with the seal on the defender.
Especially as he hasn't seen that much court time tonight. And there's another great defensive play by the Eagles. And it's Fluger who's coming hard at this end, and Max Wiggin knocks him from behind. The referees are going to have a chat about this.
Common foul.
It has been given as an unsportsmanlike foul. What's interesting about that call is that the referee who called the foul originally didn't call it unsportsmanlike, and he was then persuaded by the umpire, MacDonald, that it should have been, and he's now having to explain it to Coach Newby. So it's been given as an unsportsmanlike foul. Fluger takes the free throw, misses the first one. Makes the second, and the Eagles will get possession.
That was unfortunate timing for the Wolves because just halted their momentum a little bit.
Josh McSwiggan goes to 4 fouls.
I think Josh has been a little bit over-enthusiastic in his defence.
Quick offence from the Eagles, inbound Fletcher to Maxwell, but Maxwell couldn't knock the jumper down. Yes, Kimball at the other end splits the defence really well, drives in, and that's going to be a blocking foul called on Evan Maxwell.
There can't be no complaint about that at all. Maxwell was off the ground, in the air, and not in the driving lane at all. Easy call.
Maxwell knows it's his 5th foul. I think he wants to have a chat with the referee, but he's going to have to go off. He has gone off. Adenekan coming on.
I can't understand what the issue is with that. It was a clear foul.
Adenekan's also on 4 fouls, and he's just come on. 6:12 to go. Kimball misses the first. Misses the second, Adenekan can't get the rebound. Oh, Adenekan couldn't get the rebound. Fluger got a hand up and knocked it, and he was lucky the ball bounced off the backboard into the hands of Cortez Edwards. Edwards to Fletcher. Fletcher into Justin Gordon. The finger rolls doesn't make it. Worcester come away with the ball. Boutneck it was who came away with it. Here's Lawson to Kimball. Back to Lawson. Out to Boutneck. Unfortunately, Lawson just took his eye off the ball as it was given back to him. Promising situation for Worcester comes to nothing. Turnover, Eagles ball. Kimball looks a little bit tired there in the corner. He's gone out. I think Worcester are trying to push a little bit of a press on. 2-man Gordon Fletcher. He still gets it. Gives it back to Edwards, and Edwards is over the halfway line. And he's at the elbow. He's missed that shot short again from Cortez Edwards. Back come Worcester. Chance to get it to 12 or even 11. If Lawson's 3-pointer goes in, it doesn't. But that's a great offensive rebound by Lamar Kimball, who knocks it in for 2. Nice play by Rex Fluger at the other end. Both Cortez Edwards and Ramon Fletcher were guarded, and the Eagles managed to get the ball over halfway, and Adenekan.
Tough finish.
And there's Justin Gordon to the other end with a fantastic block shot on Brandon Anderson. Oh, great pass from Fletcher. Extra pass from Adenekan. Now it's Fluger out to Fletcher. It's out to play offense, but unfortunately the 3-point shot doesn't go down.
Still doesn't take away from what terrific ball movement that was.
Yeah, that's just the ball was fizzing around. And
nice little triangle play, whizzed it around the triangle.
There's Boutneck going driving in. It's going to be Boutneck's made that 2-point shot. And the foul on Rex Fluger with the block. I think the Eagles may well have called a timeout.
Well, he's well strapped up. Oh.
So it's 84-72, 4.5 minutes to go. Worcester still in this game, Dave.
They're not out of it at all. I was just going to say that. You use slightly different words than me, but they both mean the same thing. They're not out of this at all. The sportsmanlike foul derailed them a little bit, but also you've got to say, that was a really tough finish by Rex, and sad to see him pick up a knock at the other end of the floor doing his job on defence. But great pass to him and full marks to him for finishing in a tough situation like that.
His foul at the other end is his first. Just looking at the foul count, obviously, Shori Adenican on court at the moment. He's on 4 fouls. Darius Defoe's got 3, but he's not on court at the moment. So there's a lot of fouls on the board, but 4.5 minutes to go.
Well, this
Eagles
is why.
In the penalty.
I mean, if I was looking in a situation like this, I'd be just absolutely so delighted that I've got Darius and Louis Sayre on the floor, who I know are capable of coming on and guarding bigger forwards.
And as you see, Rex Flugas picked up a little bit of a knock and had to go off, just stretching his knee out there. And Louis Sayers has come on. Martin Boutneck makes the and 1. And that gap's down to 11. Edwards brings the ball over halfway.
Rex is moving a bit easier. He's come and sat next to the coach. I don't know whether that's a sign that he's saying he's fit to resume.
Adenican into Gordon. Eagles very static and for the first time almost. Justin Gordon, well, it would have been a circus shot if he'd made it, but he didn't make it.
Yeah.
And he has a chance for Worcester to cut the gap to single figures. That's going to be a foul by Ramon Fletcher.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on there. And Justin Gordon agreed with you, because you said he was static, and the moment you said that, he's nodding his head to tell a player to clear out, to give him an opportunity to take on a driving lane. They were very static.
Foul was on the floor, but obviously Eagles in the penalty. It means Jordan Williams will go to the line.
And with just over 4 minutes to go, this is a good opportunity. Eagles in the penalty, and Worcester only on 2 fouls.
Law of averages surely favours Jordan Williams this time. 3 from 11 he is at the moment.
So how many fouls is Ramon Fletcher on?
That was Ramon Fletcher's 4th foul.
4th foul, right.
Jordan Williams does knock the first one down. And it's a 10-point game. Misses the second, and Justin Gordon comes up with the rebound. Justin Gordon double-double now as well. Edwards to Gordon. Fletcher thought about the 3, drives in hard. Louis Sayers just manages to save that one, gives it to Defoe. Eagles, that's a really, really poor offense.
I think Darius was torn there. He must have heard everybody shouting, and we all know he's got 3-point range these days, but he was obviously thinking Fletcher was going to make a back cut to basket.
So it's down to 10, and he has Worcester coming forward again. He has Martin Boutneck suddenly come alive.
That was very nearly an and 1 as well, with Louis Sayers reaching in.
And it's down to 8 points as Martin Boutneck lays it in for 2. Yes, Fletcher, he's going to drive at the basket. He's going to try and make that one. He doesn't make it, but Justin Gordon it is who gets in.
That tip-in will settle the Eagles down a little bit.
Offensive rebound and tip-in from Justin Gordon. Takes him up to 22 points personal. He's also got 13 rebounds. That's Ramon Fletcher's 5th foul of the game. Fletcher has to take a seat with 3 minutes and 5 seconds to go.
Always a dilemma for a coach, isn't it? 4 minutes to go and your point guard gets his 4th foul. What do? Always a dilemma. You hope and pray that if you leave him on, he doesn't pick up a foul.
I think when you think of it, Ramon Fletcher as well, I think that's
just maybe a couple of minutes on the bench with Drew Lasker coming in may have worked, I don't know, but I can understand why coach left him in.
It's Rex Fluger who's taking his place.
So this is where it needs to be the Cortez Edwards show.
Martin Boutneck perfect from the line, makes both. All of a sudden Martin Boutneck playing a big part in this game. Cortez Edwards, as Dave says, has switched to the point for Eagles. Justin Gordon thought about going hard and long. Darius Defoe can't get the ball to Gordon. Great turnover. Good off defence by Worcester, who really have done fantastically well this second half. Good hands by Justin Gordon on Jordan Williams.
That was such an important hand in. Clean strip of the ball.
Rex Fluger, there's a foul by Boutneck from behind on Rex Fluger. 2:30 to go. .230 to go. Eagles lead by 8 and they're on offense. He's bounced the ball out of bounds. Cortez Edwards. Back come Worcester again. Chance to cut this game to even closer.
So if I'm reading this right, McLeod's used 2 timeouts and Newby 1. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
Obviously, that can be very important.
Could be really important.
Especially inside the last 2 minutes.
Oh my God, that was a credible move by Boutney. I showed of how important it is for a right-handed player to be able to use his left hand dribbling the ball along the baseline.
And it's 6 points the gap now. Worcester really in the ascendancy at the moment. Once again, the Eagles, the shot clock rolling down. Good hands by Lawson and Justin Gordon. Only 4.6 seconds left on the shot clock. Eagles have the ball at the end line. Just up by 6. Remarkable comeback this by Worcester. Absolutely remarkable. Really have stuck at it. Defoe's going to drive hard at the basket, and that's a foul. Two shots for Darius Defoe. Lawson's third foul.
Very important as well, it puts them in the penalty.
Defoe at the line to shoot 2. Makes the first.
I think Rex Fluger and Coach McLeod exchanging views on what should happen.
Darius Defoe makes both from the line. It's an 8-point game.
Friendly roll on the second one.
Yeah, very much so. Martin Boutneck, it is the man who's now just all of a sudden just running the whole game, and that's going to be a foul.
Yeah, good ball, Ian. Yeah, good ball, Ian. You change it.
So the foul was called on Rex Fluger at first, but referee MacDonald has come across.
Yes.
Offensive foul. Matt Newby takes a timeout. Okay, so 1:36 to go. Eagles lead 88-80. Matt Newby calls a timeout. The foul originally was called on Rex Fluger, but then referee MacDonald stepped in and had a chat, and it was decided that it was an offensive foul instead on Martin Boutneck.
Well, I think obviously good refereeing in terms of they came together and discussed it, and crucial point, that could be proved to be a massive blow for Worcester.
The Eagles ball at the sideline.
They were already in the penalty. That's not the blow. The fact is, it's given them they would have gone to the line with the possibility of reducing it to 6. Now the Eagles can extend it to 10, and if they run down quite a bit of clock, that would be difficult to come back from.
Eagles, of course, having to do this without Evan Maxwell and, more importantly, Rowan Fletcher. Rex Fluger's been...
Well, it's interesting to see the way Fluger's taking some leadership, isn't it?
Yeah. It's Justin Gordon. Fluger almost...
And again,
comes out, takes the ball. It's batted away, but Cortez Edwards picks it up. Cortez Edwards drives at the basket and manages to get the friendly hometown roll, and in it goes. And as Dave said, that makes it a 10-point game.
Massive call.
Steps back, shoots the three, makes the three.
That was a massive decision as well, where he stepped over the line and did the step back to get the extra point.
The Eagles struggling a little bit to get the ball over, but Pfluger does well in the end. Gives it into Defoe, he gives it back to Pfluger. Pfluger drives at the basket and lays it in for two. And as you said, Rex Pfluger showing some good leadership skills in these last few minutes.
Well, we'll comment on that after the game. I mean, that's going to be, if Eagles continue to win this as I expect them to do now, that's a massive talking point.
9 points the gap. Air ball three from Anderson. Eagles now trying to get the ball over halfway. This time it's Lewis Sayers who comes in. He finds Darius Defoe. Darius Defoe is fouled, and I think it's a foul by Martin Boutneck, who goes straight to the bench because I think that's his 5th foul. Yep. Mika Roland comes on. Mika, who's been averaging a lot more minutes than this, but he's had to sit down for a long time tonight. Darius Defoe will go to the line to shoot 2. Martin Boutneck, the 3rd player tonight to foul out. First for Worcester. Darius Defoe rattles home the first. And a big game from the bench, Darius Defoe. Up to 13 points. Makes them both very solid from the line these days. And it's the Eagles by 11.
Yep, it's all over now.
Lawson makes a great drive to the basket, and Eagles once again come up with it. And Justin Gordon, well, I think we all thought he was going to go flying towards the basket.
He's got a smile on his face as wide as the Tyne Bridge.
Yeah, I think he wanted to go all the way and slam that one home, but then realised, no, I'll just pull it out and let the clock run down, and I'll even take the turnover. Or is he going to go now to the basket? He's going to go now, and he's stripped by Jordan Williams, who gives it to Anderson, who lays it in for 2. Takes it down to a single-figure game, and Rex Pfluger is the man who finishes up with the ball. Final score, Newcastle Eagles 94, Worcester Wolves 85. A lot of credit to Worcester Wolves for the way they came back. Eagles will just hang on and take their 7th win in a row.
That was a massive call, wasn't it? I mean, we thought it was Rex's foul, but they decided to end, and we talked about, with Fletcher getting his 5th foul, we talked about the Cortez Edwards show, and he played his role. But I'll tell you what, at the end it was the Rex Pfluger show. Yeah. He drew that foul, he handled the ball in so many situations, made that really tough layup. He had a great finish to the game. But overall, good team performance from the Eagles, much improved second half from the Worcester Wolves. I think this layoff they had was probably a factor in that, but they certainly learned to come together, and probably a little bit of questionable calls went against them maybe in the second half, but at the end of the day you can't deny the Eagles came out the winners.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Dave, and I agree with every word you said, but I think what they will look back on is the second half, where they won the second half 45-35, and I think that's something they need to take away from this. But that's Eagles' 7th win in a row, as I say. They now move to a 9-2 record in the league. Up but win by 94-85, and we'll be back here next Friday night.